This is Kerrigan & Company. You know, folks, I've known the College Hype team for more than 20 years. They're a local screen print and embroidery company servicing the New England area and beyond. Now, what makes the team so special is that they have more than 35 years of experience and they do all the work in-house. I love their tagline, making a difference one t-shirt at a time. Speaking from experience, I know that is the truth. Learn more at collegehype.com.
Kerrigan & Company is here for you. Yes, Kerrigan & Company is here for you.
Hey everybody, welcome to Kerrigan & Company. It's so great to have you along today. I am very excited about today's show because today's show is all about actors. And when my executive producer and I started thinking about who would be a great co-host to keep me company and would know a lot about this, there was one person who came to mind, and that is Bill Hanney, of course, of the North Shore Music Theater, which is one of my very favorite places on earth, as well as Theater by the Sea. And there's so much to talk to you about. It's so good to see you. I love that you dressed in your fall sweater, by the way.
Karen, can I wear my fall? I did this the last week. She goes, that'll be perfect. You know? It is that time of year.
Well, it is perfect. You know, one of the things that I love, and I go to the theater frequently, you always pop out and say a little something to the crowd, and you're always dressed so well.
You know,
you're very dapper.
On opening night, of course, and if I go there on a non-opening night, I dress okay, but not we call them the show shirts.
There you go.
Crazy. You didn't see mine the other night because you weren't to opening night, but it was Elvis-ish.
Oh.
Yeah, very sequency. It's Versace, and it was just quite fun.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I
can't wear it that often because it's kind of you remember when you wear it, you know.
That's right. You got to know the crowd you've been
Bill,
with.
you had it on 2 years ago. Well, it's 2 years. It cost a lot of money. I need to get my money back.
Tell me a little bit about the North Shore Music Theater, and of course we're going to talk about all the different theaters, and you have so many projects. I am so excited to talk about this. But just tell me about your love for that theater, why you feel so strongly about it, because I'm going to see if it's the same reason I do.
Oh, no, it's because, number one, it's iconic. It's historical. It's been around forever. It's been through a lot of bad stuff. Saved it, yeah. It was in bankruptcy. That was 14 years ago.
Wow.
People said, "Are you sure?" I go, "I'll give it a shot." You know, what's the worst that happens? It's on a very valuable piece of land.
Yeah.
I can't go too wrong. But it's been terrific, and it's always about the support of the people. They support the theater. We were talking about it earlier. It's not my ticket that makes that work. It's all their tickets.
Sure. I
was just saying earlier to Kim that, when I pick a show, it doesn't have to be one that I like. It has to be one that everybody else likes, and hopefully I'll like it also.
Absolutely. You know what I love about it, and I've said this to anybody and everybody who listens to me, it's in the round, and it is so rare that you have that opportunity to see a show.
There are very few. And it was mainly built back when it started out with Broadway type shows, self-produced shows, and then it went big into concerts. You name the star, they performed at that theater. I was lucky enough to have a few myself: Tony Bennett, B.B. King, Paul Anka, Engelbert, Debbie Reynolds, you name it, they've been there.
Right.
But unfortunately, the concert business is kind of shifting. There are many venues now, so we don't really do many concerts at all anymore.
Sure, absolutely.
They go elsewhere. They go to the many, 15,000 venues in Boston.
Yeah, absolutely. And they what I love about the theater may be something that they wouldn't, and that's that it's so intimate. I love that.
Well,
I feel like I'm in
when you could be in the last row and you think you're touching Engelbert or whoever it is. Absolutely true.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's back up. You're a Dorchester boy.
Yes.
Dorchester, born and raised?
No, South Shore.
Okay.
South Shore. Then we ended up moving to Dorchester, which was a good part of my life because you kind of got the hard knocks life in Dorchester. I was in Mark Wahlberg's neighborhood, so it's Fields Corner, so it's not a bad place to grow up, and it teaches you a lot of things.
Well, it taught you a love for movies, I think, first and foremost.
Well, I was 14 years old when I went to get there was a local theater that just opened in Dorchester, and I went to go get a job, but unfortunately I was 14 years old, so they couldn't hire me. So I said, well, I want to work and do something. So I would clean up the matinee shows between and get free movie posters.
Oh, I love that.
I love them.
And you still have them to this day.
I have
many
most
of them, I hear.
Yes, absolutely. And I put a lot of them in my movie theater complex.
Yeah.
Because they don't do anybody any good sitting in a box or rolled up. I want to get them out. So, yeah.
So that led you to buying movie theaters. And I mean, that's a pretty big leap because, it's great that you love movies and it's great that you were, interested in the industry. But that's a big leap to go from a kid who's sitting in the theater to owning a place.
19. I was
Yeah.
19.
Okay, so I have to ask you, I mean, how did you do that?
That was just by chance. It was a theater that was in Hyde Park, and the woman that owned it was just getting up there in years, and she was just having a hard time. When I said, Rose, you should sell me the theater. Understand, we're in Dorchester for a reason. We weren't rich.
Yeah.
So she said, oh, let me think about that. And then I go, what just came out of my mouth there?
Right.
What
Can I
did you
do
just
this?
say? But long and short of that story is everybody helped me because I got to be known in the exhibition business from being a kid working at the movie theater. The Boston Globe gave me credit. She gave me credit. The film companies took care of me. I basically opened up that theater with our life savings. No lie, $800. My mother gave it to me. I go, Mom, what if I lose this? She goes, don't worry about it. Give it your best shot. And she's up there now, but I think she's okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think she's pretty proud of how
Yeah,
this
oh,
all
yeah.
shook out.
Absolutely.
I've talked to some of your colleagues, and they've all said the same thing. You don't talk about this part of the story all that much, and that you really are a self-made person who has done incredibly well, Bill.
I've been a lucky person along the way, and yes, starting from on welfare in Dorchester to where I'm proud to say today, and this more goes out to everybody young starting. You can do it. Anybody can do it. Just do it.
Yeah. So you own now we mentioned obviously North Shore Music Theater and Theater by the Sea.
Theater by the Sea. Yep.
You also own a number of
Movie
theaters.
complexes, yep.
And you're about to do something on the South Shore that has never, as far as we can tell.
And
it
anybody
has
out
never
there
been
that
done
can find it
right?
has been done, I'd love to know. But I am claiming right now that it's the first type of theater. I'll go at least American, and I don't think it's been done anywhere else. We're combining live entertainment, Broadway-style shows, luxury movie theaters, cabaret theaters, comedy clubs, that kind of stuff, all under one roof. And it's called Bill Hanney's Entertainment Experience. And the first location will open this year being next year, in Hyannis at the Cape Cod Mall.
Yeah. So essentially, you're taking that whole thing over,
Yep,
right?
50,000 square feet, and we are reimagining that theater like you've never seen.
So I just want people to understand this. So you can go there on Friday night and see a movie.
Yep.
Saturday night you can go and see a live show.
Absolutely.
And Sunday night you can
We're
go
gonna do
and
jazz brunches. We're going to do in the cabaret theater. You could have events there, weddings. We're planning all kinds of things. And I always say it's where you're going to meet your neighbors. Hey, Kim, what are you doing? Well, I'm going to see Deadpool. What are you doing, Bill? I'm seeing Chorus Line. It's live on the stage. Well, let's get for a drink after the cabaret theater at the bar in the lobby where they have entertainment.
Absolutely.
It's very Vegas-ish. Very Las Vegas-ish.
Yes.
So I'm excited. Never been done. And the reason I'm doing this is I already have the shows. I make these shows already, and 90% of the cost of a Broadway show on stage takes you to opening night. Once you've opened that show, everything is much cheaper. You're just running the show.
Right.
But all the rehearsals, the directors, the designers, the costumes,
Sure.
the sets, props, you name it, get to that one night. And in 4 weeks, those shows go in the dumpster.
yeah.
And that's not going to happen anymore.
So are you going to be able to take a show that maybe is running up at the North Shore Music?
More
and you
Theater
move
by
it-
the Sea because it's a similar.
Closer,
Well,
similar?
it's also proscenium stage.
Okay.
And yes, that was my original intent to take the 4 shows we do this summer over there and bring them to Cape Cod. And now that it'll be open all year round, we'll do other shows. Probably not so big in January, February, but smaller shows like $1 Million Quartet, with a few people in it. But just lots of different concerts and family events and everything. It should be really exciting.
Oh, it is. And I think you want people to refer to it as the X, right?
Yes, I'll meet you at the X tonight. We're going to go do something together. Exactly, as an experience.
I love it
Yep.
so much.
That was
I
Karen's
love
idea,
that.
by the way.
It's
Yep,
great.
that was
It's
Karen's
terrific.
idea.
Talk to me about the movie industry as a whole. It really has taken a hit. And
Yeah.
it's so, Bill, it's so different from when you were a kid and when I was a kid because I can sit at home and stream something now.
Well, here's the problem. When this thing all hit in that horrible 2020, where everything was closed, including the mall, I went to this theater in Hyannis. I looked at it and said, wow, you got some trouble here because the movie companies made the window down to 0, day and date, and everybody got a big screen TV.
Yeah.
And everybody, whoever you were, I don't care how old you were, you learned how to use it, and you didn't have to go to the theaters anymore. And it took us a long time to get out of that. But because of Barbie and Oppenheimer, and this year Deadpool, and so many, not so many, but enough to keep this theater, get my confidence in it. But I've still protected it. We've only got 8 screens in this thing, so we don't have to worry about filling 20 of them.
Right, which is that seems smart. It seems smart.
Absolutely.
And you feel like people are still willing to go to see something live?
They want to get out of the house. I always say
There
to
you
somebody,
go.
you can cook, you go to a restaurant, yes, case closed.
I couldn't agree with you more, And I got to tell you, I love a night at the movies or I love a night at the theater.
Absolutely. Nothing like it. You got to get out of the house and enjoy something that's hopefully good.
Oh, it's going to be so fun. Listen, we're going to circle back, talk about this more. I'm so glad you're here. We've got all kinds of actors and all kinds of fun yet to come in this show. Coming up next, you and I both have had the opportunity to see. It's the 25th anniversary of Mamma Mia. It's touring. It's been in Boston, and there is a young woman in this show who is from this area. She's a superstar. Really, really fun. So we're going to talk to her. She's coming in to see us.
Great.
And Ed Begley Jr., who is just, when I started to look at his resume, I thought to myself, really? He's a face everywhere.
Yes.
But I'm not sure if you really realize how many things he has done.
Because I don't. I would love to hear this,
Well,
without a doubt.
Well, we won't have time enough for that, but we'll certainly get into some of it. So you stay here with me.
I'm going to.
All right, fantastic. Bill Hanney with me, and you are listening to Kerrigan & Company. You know, folks, I've known the College Hype team for more than 20 years. They're a local screen print and embroidery company servicing the New England area and beyond. Now, what makes the team so special is that they have more than 35 years of experience and they do all the work in-house. I love their tagline, making a difference one t-shirt at a time. Speaking from experience, I know that is the truth. Learn more at collegehype.com.
Don't miss America's oldest fair, the Topsfield Fair, October 4th through October 14th. See the full lineup of free shows and exhibits at topsfieldfair.org. Free concerts, fun, rides, and fantastic food, all at the Topsfield Fair.
This segment of Kerrigan & Company is brought to you by Lucia Lighting and Design, where people in the know go for the best possible lighting and design experience. Welcome back, everybody, to Kerrigan & Company. So glad that you could be with us for this episode. It's all about the actors and it's all about the theater this time around. And, of course, keeping me company today is Bill Hanney. He's the owner of the North Shore Music Theater as well as a Theater by the Sea, a man who knows a whole lot about actors. That is
At
for
this
sure.
point, I better.
And yeah, right, exactly. And Bill and I have something in common. We saw this fabulous young woman on stage this last week. This is Carly Sokolow, and she is in the version of Mamma Mia that is playing right now here in Boston, thanks to Broadway in Boston. It's over at the Opera House. But you've been on this tour for how many months? You said almost a year.
Almost a year. Wow. We're 11 months in.
Wow.
And we have, I think, 9 or 10 to go. So we're in the halfway point now.
Well, you play Rosie.
I do.
And Rosie is part of the group.
Yes, Donna and the Dynamos.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so a little blurb about the show is, this woman who lives on a Greek island, runs a hotel. Her daughter's getting married. And the daughter doesn't know who her dad is because, Donna was having some fun in the 70s. And so basically, Sophie invites 3 possible contenders that could be her dad to the wedding. And hilarity ensues, and I play one of Donna's best friends.
Yes.
She has this old band, the Dynamos. So we're there for the emotional support and the laughs.
Absolutely. It's so fantastic. Of course, all set to the music of ABBA, which is just makes you want to get up and dance every second.
And they do.
Yeah,
They do.
People do. I was blown away.
Yeah.
I'm watching people in the audience doing this, and it was really I've seen the show before. I saw it at the North Shore Music Theater.
We've done it twice there, and it's one of my faves.
Oh, it's just, you can't beat the music. The script is really well written and fun. And tell me what it's like to be in the 25th. This is the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, it's a very special production. It closed on Broadway about 8 years ago, almost 10 years ago. So that would be 9, somewhere in the middle. And so since then, it did get a lot of regional productions and things, but like the movies set up and got these like new wave of fans, and all of a sudden like we're opening and we're traveling.
You bet.
The U.S. again and Canada, and it feels amazing because everyone was so ready for it to come back.
Yeah.
You know, and it is. We do have like all the original like sets and costumes, and
Are they the originals?
yes, we have the original.
wow.
I'm still in. Oh, I'm not sure if you guys knew, but I did the tour 10 years ago. Oh. And I'm still in my boots. The
Oh,
same
I
boots.
love it.
Yes.
I love it.
That's
That's
They're very durable.
fantastic.
These are, of course, 5-inch platform boots. Very comfortable. But people just were ready for it,
Yeah.
for another dose.
Yeah.
And they're going crazy for it. It's so much beyond how, like, fun it is. It's just, like, it's good for your heart.
Yes.
The whole,
You know, Carly, the world
feel
is
it.
heavy, and you get into that theater and you see that production, and you feel very different.
And I got to jump in. I saw it on Tuesday night, which was probably it was pre-opening, so I couldn't go Wednesday. And I know the show very, very well. And this show was fantastic.
Thank you.
And I mean that. And I'm the kind of person, don't ask me how you like the show, Bill, if you don't want to hear the answer. And I'm telling you right now, there was not a person in that show that wasn't terrific. And the
Bill said this to
audience-
me when he came
yeah,
in
this is
here.
all the truth.
Yeah.
It was that good, and it's iconic. It's one of my favorite shows, and you guys pulled it off.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really
I
did.
mean, the cast is killer, and
Yeah.
they were all just very close, and you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
chemistry's real.
Been together for a while.
Yeah,
most of them.
we've been together for a while. I mean, but it was just right off the bat. I think
That's
the
great.
cast, something about the cast and the chemistry was so special, and
the best.
and especially with like myself and the other two dynamos. I mean, we have so much fun. We watched The Bachelorette together. We're like,
So you really are having those little pajama parties.
we really are. I mean, there's
That's great.
a little bit more wine involved.
Only
Carly,
way.
it's a double whammy for Carly to be in this great show and to be here in Boston because Carly is from the South Shore.
Yeah. I grew up in Hingham, Massachusetts, and I was born at Brigham and Women's.
Awesome.
And then we ended up moving to South Florida when I was 15, but I still feel like this is where I'm from. So I'm a Bostonian girl. And then I came back up for college. I went to the Boston Conservatory, which is now affiliated with Berklee School of Music.
Sure.
And graduated from there and moved to New York. But like whenever I come home, I like to come to Boston.
Yeah.
I got married here. I got married in Hull
Yeah.
on the beach.
Absolutely.
Oh,
At a
nice.
friend's house.
Nice.
Fantastic. Yeah, this is home then.
it
This
really
is where
is
there are some
home,
roots, which is great. Great.
Yeah, like
Yeah, you are multi-talented. I would call you a triple threat. You can dance and you can sing and you can act, and but then you have a fourth thing that you can do, which I am really blown away by, and that's
boy.
you do impressions.
I do impressions.
Oh, do you really?
I do, yeah. When I was a little girl, I was doing impressions of my idols like Jim Carrey and Alanis Morissette. And
Alanis
Walters.
Morissette is such a bizarre one too.
These
so
were
out
just
there.
the people, I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and these are just like the people that I saw that my parents were like, who is this weird kid? And then when I was 14, I played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz in Needham.
Yeah.
And I just somehow, I wasn't even thinking about it really, but opening night, I just was like, I was Judy Garland. It's based on the movie
Yeah.
and what I'd heard, and my mom was like, wait, what just happened here? And everyone in the audience was like, is she lip syncing? So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, so that was kind of like my first one that I could actually nail, and then I decided that I was gonna actually give it a shot, and over the years I learned, and when I was 15, I was at camp, doing Stifler's mom, which is Jennifer Coolidge, another
Yes.
local.
Yes.
And everyone was like, do Stifler's mom, do it. And that was like one of my first, mainstream impressions. And a couple years ago, I got to work with Jennifer Coolidge on a TV show,
How
a
fun.
Netflix show called The Watcher. I had a scene with
Yes.
her. And I did my impression for her, and she loved it. So,
That's awesome.
so
That's great.
I did musical, The Musical, off Broadway for many, many years. And,
Yes.
and my mentor and very good friend is Christine Petty. So,
Sure,
you
Christine,
know.
love Christine.
So it's
And
Broadway Divas.
you've also done Ethel Merman.
Oh, yeah. I originated the role of Ethel in the Book of Merman
Yes.
off Broadway about
Yep.
it was 2018.
Oh, are we going to get any of this?
Yeah, you got it. Go ahead. You ask
need to
her.
hear something.
Yeah, we have to have
Okay,
an
well,
impression.
I mean-
Well, your favorite. Your
Yeah.
favorite.
Well,
Exactly.
I feel like we just have to go Coolidge real quick.
Yeah, well, and people who will really know who that is.
Kim, you look like the 4th of July. Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Perfect. Actually, that's pretty good.
Excellent
That's very
job.
good.
Excellent
Did I
job.
request one? Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
That's the worst one. It was the first worst. I don't know.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So that's good.
You tried out for Saturday Night Live.
I did. Yep. Yeah, I sent a tape in. Several
Used
years
some
back.
of these impressions,
I
right,
think-
to do
I
it.
think that maybe they were trying to steer clear of too many Broadway divas, so didn't exactly go my way. But I developed a little niche in the cabaret world and cruise ships, and you know, I still do my. I have a video called Broadway Divas Send in the Clowns, which was in 2010 when YouTube was like really hot, like the way to spread around a video, and it went viral. And and I
Wow.
got write-ups in the New York Post and the Times, Time Magazine, and actually the Globe.
Good for you.
David
That's great.
Goff wrote
Yeah.
me up in 2010.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that kind of like catapulted it all. And
Yeah.
you know, I love doing impressions. It's super fun, and obviously, like, it gives people a jolt of happiness.
Absolutely.
And I love that. But just there's something about taking on like a character in a musical
yeah.
that will always have my heart.
So there you go. So you've almost answered my next question, which would be, you know, where does it all go from here? What's the ultimate? You know, is it film? Is it TV? Is it more stage? Is it all of the above?
It's all of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I kind of got bit by the film and TV bug in the last couple years, and
The Watcher was fantastic.
yeah. Oh, what a great show!
Oh,
I
it
feel
was
so
phenomenal.
fortunate
And
to have been
I
part
went
of it.
back to see, and then I remembered that scene that you were, you know, the scenes that you were in. It was
Yeah.
really cool, really great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Joanna Gleason, who of course originated the role of the baker's wife in Into the Woods,
Mm-hmm.
she had a movie that she'd been working on for a very long time, kind of loosely based on her life, and she saw this video in 2010, and she emailed me.
Really?
And wanted to be friends. So
That's
I got to
pretty
know her well,
cool.
and then 13 years later, we filmed the movie.
Great.
And it's coming out in theaters in October.
Fantastic.
It's called The Grotto. A little plug, and it's a beautiful, heartfelt dramedy, I'd call it, with a coming of age of middle age.
Fantastic.
And learning a lot about yourself. So, really
Exciting.
great film, and I get to do my impressions in it.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, so hopefully we're going to see you on all of the screens.
That's
a whole
the
lot
hope
more.
here.
Well, I'll put you on mine. That's for sure.
Hey, you know,
We're going to put you. And
like
Mamma
it
Mia,
all.
how long will you be here in Boston?
we are here until October 6th.
Great.
So, you know, right
Yeah.
well, it is Tuesday right now. We have 8 shows the whole second week.
Great.
As,
And I really mean this. Go
Comfy.
see this show. You will love it.
Yes.
I agree. I mean, I didn't know anything about Mamma Mia before I auditioned, like 13 years ago. And then I went and saw it after I got a call back. I was like, I guess I should see what this show's about. I went to see it, and I was like, oh, my God, this is good. Why have I
Right.
waited so long to see this?
Absolutely. It's a great show. And
Yeah.
you certainly make it just that much
Thank
better. So
you.
thank you. Thanks for taking time for Kerrigan and Company.
Yeah.
Grotto, it comes out in October.
18th in select theaters.
Great.
And if you go to Mamma Mia the Tour on, Google.com, you'll find all our cities.
That's
we
great.
have 10 more months to go on this tour.
Super.
And so keep your eyes peeled. It's coming somewhere near you.
Carly Sokolov, is so fun to
Hey.
see you. Thanks for
So nice
love
chatting.
to have the
Thanks for
hometown
being
girl who did so well. All right, this is Kerrigan and Company. The holiday season is just around the corner. Before all those family gatherings and holiday parties, you'll want to spruce up your home. Let me suggest that you start with updating your lighting. It can make all the difference when you're entertaining. The folks at Lucia Lighting Design in Lynn can help you achieve the perfect atmosphere, whether it's soft, welcoming lighting in the dining room or a workstation in the kitchen. Owner Lucy Dearborn and her team can make suggestions and guide you through the process. If you can imagine it, the experts at Lucia Lighting Design can make your dreams come true. Learn more at lucialighting.com. That's lucialighting.com. It's back. America's oldest fair, the Topsfield Fair, is back October the 4th to the 14th. There's something for everyone at the Topsfield Fair. See the giant pumpkin, hold a baby chick, or pet a calf. Check out the thousands of contests entries in all of the agriculture buildings, or have some fun in the midway with all the games and rides. And of course, enjoy the delicious fair food. Save time at the gate by ordering your tickets now at topsfieldfair.org. That's topsfieldfair.org.
If you like rum, you're going to love Rumson's Rum, New England's most award-winning rum brand. Rumson creates distinctive and savory flavor profiles by hand-selecting and marrying the finest barrel-aged Caribbean rums. The spirits are then blended and finished in the New England Rum House. Choose from Rumson's Gold, Spice, Grand Reserve, or Coffee Rum, which is smooth and sweet with a warm roasted coffee flavor, a hint of vanilla, and a decadent buttery finish. Find Rumson's at liquor stores or ask for it at your favorite restaurant. Learn more at rumsons.com. That's rumsons.com. Rumsons. Life lived, life enjoyed.
This segment of Kerrigan and Company is brought to us by Bill Haney's North Shore Music Theater. See $1 Million Quartet playing now through October 6th at nsmt.org. Well, Bill Haney is here with me, keeping me company, and so far so good, huh?
So far, so fun.
I know, so far so fun.
Yeah.
I love that
Yep.
attitude. Look at you. I love that. Well, you recognize our next guest.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's one of the two reasons I came in.
Well,
You
thank
and
you. Ed Begley Jr. is with us, of course. Gosh, Ed, we've been talking about this, the two of us, before you joined us here by Zoom, that if we went through your full resume, sir, we would not have time in this podcast, and we'd have to just meet with you later because of the many phenomenal things that you have done. 137 episodes of St. Elsewhere. How about that in and of itself
Wow,
is amazing.
that's-
Fantastic to have you here. Thank you so much.
Great to be here with you. I'm very lucky to still be working at age 75, so I'm very aware of how fortunate I've been.
Well, you have been on every possible screen, the little ones and the big ones. I think you've done some stage performances. You name it, you have done it in your lifetime, correct?
Yeah, I've been working since 1967 and somehow didn't get fired. You know, I kind of learned on the set. I wanted to do what my father did. My dad was Ed Begley Jr., wonderful Academy Award-winning actor, great father and a great actor. And so I went, that looks easy. Let me do that. With no training whatsoever, I somehow thought I could do, film and television and got a few jobs finally. I went on interviews for several years and never got a job because I had no training. I finally took a few minor classes and I began to work.
Wow. That's Dad's Academy Award in the background, is it not?
That's my father's Academy Award there.
Do you see it
Wow,
sitting?
that is
yeah.
The Oscar
Awesome.
for Sweet Bird of Youth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific.
Hard to get my finger in reverse. Sorry, there it is right there.
And behind the other
He won it for
shoulder.
Sweet Bird of Youth.
Absolutely, and
Best supporting actor.
it's so exciting that you have that to this day. On the other shoulder is the front of your most a project that you finished, I don't know, about a year ago or so, right? And that being your
Yes.
memoir.
I wrote a book. I wrote a memoir. I had no intention of writing a book. I was just taking notes for my kids and grandkids so they'd remember some of the stories, things I've been through and my father's been through, different good and bad things that had occurred to me and my closest relatives. And pretty soon it was a book without intending to go there. And, it just happened by accident. A publisher, an agent for a publisher contacted me and off we go.
Ed, when you sat down to start to write a book, were you amazed by yourself? And could you remember, or did it slowly but surely kind of trickle back? Because I think that's the real challenge.
Yeah, the way it happened was my daughter, who's now 24, she was 22, it was 2 years ago. She had her smartphone. She said, let me start recording some of these stories that you've told over the years, whatever you can remember. And her arm eventually got tired and her battery ran out. So I said, well, I'll take some notes to my computer and give them to you later. And that's when it happened.
Yeah.
Suddenly the keyboard
Wow.
became like a Ouija board that actually worked and took me this way and that into these things I hadn't thought of in, 50 years, some of them. So
Wow.
I just started to write that stuff down for my daughter, for the note she was going to assemble into a little pamphlet or something. And suddenly I realized I had chapters of a book, and I kept going from there. And an agent, David Vigliano, got onto it, and he liked it a lot. So suddenly it was a book.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't that
Wow.
fantastic? You, in August, a feature film released, Strange Darling. It's kind of a horror flick, yes? And
It is.
tell me a little bit about that movie.
It all happened, as most things have happened to me, through extreme good fortune. There was a woman named Deanne Molnar. Dee Dee was a friend of mine, and we went on a camping trip together once with Ed Rouché's wonderful wife, Dana Rouché. We went up to Billings, Montana, and back, in my camper vehicle. And she was a go-go dancer at the Whiskey A Go-Go, and I knew her well. Flash forward many years. A few years ago, J.T. Molnar, her nephew, contacts me and says, we're going to have a memorial for Dee Dee. I don't know if you knew that she had passed. I did not know that. I went to a memorial for his wonderful aunt, who I cared for a great deal. And at some point thereafter, he said, I've been writing this script. Would you consider looking at it? I said, sure, I'll look at your script, kid. Okay, I'll do a favor for Dee Dee and look at
Sure.
the script. Turns out he is a masterful writer. People like Stephen King, J.J. Abrams have seen the movie or, read his screenplay and flipped for it. He's a highly accomplished writer, director, and I'm lucky to work with him. So thank you, Dee Dee.
that brought the two of you together, which is fantastic. Was this your first horror flick like this?
I've done a few horror-like kind of projects. I was on Tales from the Crypt. That's certainly horror and something like that, horror and fantasy. I was in Cat People, which is kind of a sci-fi horror movie. What else have I been in? A few other things I can't think of right now, but I've mostly not done these kind of movies, not intentionally. I just never got offered any of them before. And so I started to read this script and I went, okay, I know what this is. The woman's being chased at the beginning of the movie, and I know where this winds up. And not at all. Pretty soon after just a few pages, I went, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And that's everybody's reaction that's seen the movie.
Fantastic.
People really seem to like it. I sure like it.
Talk to me about this long career and what to you has been the best part of it, and maybe what have been the biggest challenges associated with it. And I know that's
The
a
best
very
part-
broad stroke for someone who has done as much as you have.
Well, my extreme good fortune was being born Ed Begley's son. I can't take credit for that. I won the lottery with that one. When I was younger, I didn't appreciate it at all. I'm not my dad. Don't compare me to him. I'm going to change my name so people don't think I'm trying to trade on his name. I had it all wrong. It was a wonderful gift to be Ed Begley's son. Two great things about being the son or daughter of somebody like that. Number one, you're going in on a job interview. That's what a reading is for a part. It's a job interview. Number one, they're going to remember your name. And number two, they have something to talk about. I worked with your dad in the Philco Playhouse, and he and I also did the Kraft Theater together and the Zane Grey Theater. And I love the old man. Good luck, kid. Top of page 8. Good luck to you, pal. They're kind of rooting for you.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
It's very, very lucky to be. I can't take any credit for that, but then I guess what I did that was smart, I suppose, was associating myself with people like Bruno Kirby and Cindy Williams and Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis and these friends of mine that I knew back in the day, and they all became, as they deserved, quite successful. And I learned from them because they took classes and they trained, and I decided, well, maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll get better with training. Yeah, you think so? So I started actually working with different people like Peggy Fury and the Strasberg Institute and Jeff Corey, Stella Adler, good teachers, and I became markedly improved.
Yeah, that's terrific. You had a stellar television career with a whole lot of different series. Is there one that sticks out to you?
St. Elsewhere, because of the duration of it and the extreme quality of those Tom Fontana scripts and John Macius and Josh Brand and John Falsey. They wrote these great scripts, and we had great directors like Bruce Paltrow directed quite a few, and Mark Tinker directed more than anyone, and he was and is a great director and a great friend. And Bruce Paltrow gave me the job of a lifetime. It really changed my life. I was a day player before that and worked, but I, have 5 lines here, maybe, God willing, 10 lines there, and worked a bit. But then after St. Elsewhere, things got much easier to get work, and it's been that way ever since 1982 when I got that wonderful job.
Wow, that's great.
Not many people can say that,
No,
that
no.
it's been since 1982. That is for
Just think about it.
I know it. And that's consistent work, too. I know you were just most recently, when I think about series, I know that you were a reoccurring role on Young Sheldon, right?
What a great show that is. So much heart, such a funny show. It's a comedy first and foremost, but it's also a very touching and wonderful show. And I love watching that show. I'm a fan, irrespective of being in the show. It's just a terrific show. Also, I worked on Better Call Saul, on that extraordinary show. I was fortunate enough to work on Arrested Development, on 6 Feet Under.
Yes.
So I've just been, the recipient of incredible good fortune my whole life. And it continues at age 75. Go figure.
So, well, listen, and it's not go figure. And maybe it's good fortune and good luck sometimes, but there's something behind that gets those directors and producers to call you back
Talent.
over. And it's called talent.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That is called
Yep.
talent. So let's talk about, we talked about the movie and some of these fantastic shows that have been, some streaming and some network shows, which I think is really interesting as well. 75 and still going strong. What's next?
I'll just do whatever they have for me. I'll do, people say, are you a film actor or a television actor? There used to be a distinction back in the day. I'll do whatever has the best material, whatever has a good script.
Yeah.
I've learned to spot what makes a good script now, and I certainly spotted it with that J.T. Molnar work, Strange Darling, which starts streaming today, by the way. You can
I was going
buy
to
it.
ask, how
It
can you
released
see
today.
it?
It was out in the theaters, and now it's finally released today as a streamer.
Great.
And, everybody should go and see this movie. It's Stephen King's favorite movie in a long time. J.J. Abrams sent me an email. He flipped for it. People who know a lot about drama and these kinds of movies have really embraced the movie.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi loved it. Tiffany Haddish. All these
Oh, that's so
lot of-
great.
fans from different parts of the entertainment industry who just love this film, Strange Darling. So check it out.
Absolutely. One final question from me, and that is there somebody that you haven't worked with that you'd like to?
I've never worked with Bob De Niro or Martin Scorsese, so I certainly would like that.
Two great
But,
names.
I don't want to be greedy here.
I don't think you're being greedy at all. Continued success. The book is available wherever you get your books. I know that to be a fact. And we just learned today that Strange Darling is streaming now, so be sure you check it out. Ed Begley Jr., thank you so much for being a part of Kerrigan and Company today. So much appreciate you.
Having me on. What a
Thank you,
delight.
Ed.
You bet. This is Kerrigan and Company.
There's a whole lot of shaking going on when the hit musical $1 Million Quartet rocks the stage at Bill Hanney's North Shore Music Theater. Now through October 6th. Tickets at nsmt.org.
Don't miss America's oldest fair, the Topsfield Fair, October 4th through October 14th. See the full lineup of free shows and exhibits at topsfieldfair.org. Free concerts, fun, rides, and fantastic food, all at the Topsfield Fair.
Wouldn't it be great to have those full cheeks you had when you were younger, but not have to go through a major procedure to get them? Well, cheek fillers at Sienna Aesthetics in Beverly are a non-surgical cosmetic procedure that can help enhance facial contours, restore lost volume, and improve facial symmetry. They're an effective way to rejuvenate the appearance of your face with minimal downtime. Sienna's experienced injectors can customize treatments to meet your goals. For a free consultation, set up an appointment at siennaesthetics.com. That's siennaesthetics.com. All right, everybody, time to wrap up Kerrigan and Company today, of course, presented by A&B Burger. This has been a really great show and a lot of fun. And, of course, Bill Hanney, you have been here with me, keeping me company, the owner of the North Shore Music Theater, as well as the Theater by the Sea, and soon the big entertainment experience in Hyannis.
Yep, on Cape Cod.
We are so excited about this. We're going to all meet at X.
Yes.
First drink's going to be on Bill.
Yep, absolutely.
A fantastic place. It's going to take over what was the Cape Cod Mall.
Yep, the Regal Theater, yes.
Yeah, and it's just going to be theaters and bars and
cabarets and comedy clubs.
Oh,
it's the place you're going to want to be.
I know. I'm very excited.
All year round.
I am very excited about it. So we're looking forward to that for sure. And that's something that we can look for coming in 2025, folks. So
yes.
Just so
part
you
of
know,
it opens then.
Yeah, a portion of it is going to get started then. And by the way, you can head to the North Shore Music Theater at any time. They are closing out $1 Million Quartet. And then soon Titanic will be there.
Yep.
That'll be the last
Broadway one.
Broadway show. And then
You have to do, that is the one that they would hang me in Town Square if I didn't do A Christmas Carol.
with
I learned David Coffey. I've said many times on my stage, I have made a pact with the devil to keep him doing this show as long as he wants to do it, which will be the next 100 years, you know? He is the best ever in this role. He really is.
He is. David Coffey in A Christmas Carol. Be sure you check that out. And we'll talk more about that here on the show when it gets closer to that time. I have seen it many times, and I will see it again this year, and I will no doubt.
We always switch it up, too. There's always something different
Yeah,
going on.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Hey, we do this thing. It's called College Hype Fast 5. College Hype, making a difference one T-shirt at a time. Visit collegehype.com today. So what I'm going to do, Bill, is I'm going to rapid fire for 30 seconds, rapid fire questions at you, and you're going to give me an answer as quickly as you can. Are
Now,
you
I've
ready?
never done this before, so I have no idea but let's go there.
Here we go. Would you rather cook or eat out?
Oh, eat out.
Would you rather go to the movies or see a live theater production?
Both.
No.
I have to say live theater. You guys, it's like pick my kids now. Which one I like better?
Favorite city in the United States?
Boston.
Favorite city in Europe?
London.
Age or decade that you would go back to if you could?
Oh, absolutely. I've talked about this a lot with people. I want to go back to my 20s to 30s, like 18, 19, 10. Give me 10 years. I've always said, give you 10 years, you pick it. What would you do? That would be what I would do.
Would you do your life different?
I don't know. You know, I would like to experience it all over again, but I had so much fun doing it because it was hard and fun and all those kind of things. So I can't answer that because I probably can't get to do it.
Hey, I'm going to ask you a bonus question. Favorite celebrity that you've ever met?
Oh, God, it had to be Robert Redford. But it was, well, I also met that night Glenn Close because he was at backstage at Her Sunset Boulevard. So
Wow.
I have so many of those. Somebody I've gotten to know him well, but yeah, Redford.
I know. I met Redford as well, and my favorite movie of all time is The Way We Were.
Really?
And if you can believe it, I asked him a couple of questions related to it, and he started to regurgitate part of the script
Did
for
he?
me.
How
And I
lucky
thought I
for
was going to
you.
drop in the floor.
Oh, my God, I would have fainted, you know.
College Hype gives our
right.
folks a T-shirt, so that is for you, sir. Thank you very much.
you.
Listen, this has been so much fun.
Let's do it
thank
again.
you. Let's do.
It was my first one. Did I do okay?
I thought you were phenomenal.
All right, that's very nice.
I thought you were
You'll talk about me
phenomenal.
after I leave.
That is
the
not
team,
true.
you know?
I'll talk about you, but it'll only be good.
There you go.
Bill Hanney, it's the North Shore Music Theater, of course, the Theater by the Sea. And don't forget, it's coming soon. Entertainment experience that's going to be down there on the Cape.
On the Cape.
You bet. All right. Thanks so very much. Thanks to
Thank
all of
you.
you for being part of this episode today. Be sure that you follow us on social, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Kerrigan and Company. To find out who will keep me company and be my co-host on the next episode, be sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. Kerrigan and Company is recorded at the Big Night Studios at the TD Garden in Boston. You can view the podcast on YouTube and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure you tell a friend. The executive producer of Kerrigan and Company is David Thompson. Our engineer is Peter Hurley, and our social media managers are Grace Kerrigan, Colby Thompson, and Riley Thompson. See you next time.